A wet Wednesday night here, yet we offer you a warm welcome to NTA News Top Table, where we go the extra mile to give you the news with an extra touch of fine detail. Tonight, the spiritual and the physical, the holy month of Ramadan and its impact on prices of commodities, the albatross of insecurity on national life, from kidnappers to kingnappers, an uneasy week for an Eze who regained freedom from his abductors. He shared his experience with the NTA. Also tonight, fraudsters streak the questionnaire as JAMB loses millions to sharp practices of operatives. We have a bag full of stories, but don't take my word for it. Just stay with us. After all, the taste of the pudding is in the eating. I am Fatima Morbuba, and this is News Extra. I welcome you once again. The Federal Executive Council this Wednesday received and approved some memoranda aimed at improving the services of the Nigerian customs, and the nation's economy is not in any trouble concerning its rising debt profile, which is still within the sustainable levels, says the Finance Minister. Over now to State House correspondent Jide Onifade for more on these from the Federal Executive Council meeting this Wednesday.
The Nigerian debt is still within sustainable limits. What we need to do, as I've said several times, is to improve our revenue to enhance our capacity to service not only our debt obligations, but to service the needs of running government on a day-to-day basis. So our debt, currently at about 23% to GDP, is at a very sustainable level. You can look at all the reports that you see from multilateral institutions. Those facts are stated to be so.
Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Zainab Ahmed, says it is untrue that 60 billion naira was printed to support March allocation to state by the Federation Account Allocation Committee. The minister, at the press briefing, says memos presented to the council by the Nigerian Customs were approved towards enhancing its operations.
The council approved the procurement of 427 operational vehicles for the Nigerian Customs Service operations in favor of various contractors in the combined sum of 14.55 billion naira, inclusive of 7.5% VAT, with a delivery period of 4 weeks. And there are several contractors.
Still on improvement of infrastructure, 532 million naira was approved for the Ministry of Education by the Council for the extension of the University of Ibadan Library, which the Minister of Information says it's long overdue. Minister of Information, Lai Mohammed, also speaks on the town hall meeting held in Kaduna.
It was also agreed at that meeting. The concern was that, yes, the call for political restructuring is okay, but call for secession or separation is not the answer to our problems.
Vice President Yemi Osinbajo presided over the meeting in the absence of the president, and only 4 of the ministers were physically present, while others joined via Zoom. In the State House, Jide Onifade, NTA News.
In the meantime, members of the Federal Executive Council, led by Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, this Wednesday held a minute's silence in honor of late Mahmoud Tukur. Mahmoud Tukur was a politician and a former Minister of Commerce and Industry during the military administration of General Muhammadu Buhari. He was also the first Vice Chancellor of Bayero University, Kano. President Muhammadu Buhari, in his tribute, said the late Tukur, during his time as minister, introduced a lot of schemes that revived the local industry, boosted exports, and gave real meaning and effect to import substitution in regenerating the indigenous manufacturing sector of the economy. Late Muhammad Tukur died on the 9th of April 2021 as members of the council, some of whom joined virtually, opened the meeting with a prayer for the repose of the deceased soul. And in periods of uncertainties, especially pandemics like we have at the moment, food shortage comes manifest. To ensure that Nigeria does not suffer from such challenges, the Senate has passed a bill that seeks to establish the National Food Reserve Agency. National Assembly correspondent Ignatius Nkwo reports.
It was the second plenary after the Easter break, but the first for legislative business. The National Food Reserve Agency Establishment Bill was the only bill considered. When passed into law, the agency is to ensure a national and effective food grain preservation system and even distribution, especially during emergencies. Stabilization of food prices and reduction in post-harvest losses are some of the issues the agency is expected to address.
By this bill, where the President declares a national food emergency, the agency is empowered to release food stock.
And all other provisions of the Constitution, there is no power that enables this National Assembly to make law in respect to Food Reserve Agency.
It is a system designed to ensure that at all times, a country is able to guarantee that food will be supplied and available to its members.
You know, the scarcity of food either from flood, natural disaster, or even crisis of insurgency.
I don't think we can afford to just leave the food reserve issue in Nigeria to state governments. After the state governments run to the federal government.
Senator Sam Egu drew the attention of the Senate to the urgent need for the federal government to intervene in what he described as senseless killings in Ebonyi State, while Senator Abba Moro called on the National Emergency Management Agency to provide relief materials to victims of windstorm that destroyed more than 10 communities in Benue South Senatorial District.
Direct the Nigerian police and other relevant security agencies to carry out comprehensive investigations of these dastardly attacks and to promptly arrest and prosecute the perpetrators as well as rescue kidnapped victims. Urge relevant government agencies to quickly go in and support the rebuilding of all the affected public buildings.
Senate, through motions by two senators from Plateau State, Hezekiah Dimka and Estefanus Gyang, observed a minute silence in honor of the late Senator Sati Davis Gongwim, who died on the 5th of April 2021, and miners who were killed in Kuru, Jos Plateau State. Senate has confirmed the nomination of Halilu Ahmed Shaba for appointment as Director General of the National Space Research and Development Agency. The legislators passed a total of 5 bills for first reading. This includes a bill that seeks to establish the National Youth Commission. Senate has adjourned to Tuesday, the 20th of April 2021. From the National Assembly, Ignatius Nkwo, NTA News.
As the season of Ramadan commences, Vice President Yemi Osinbajo wants Nigerians to see it as not only a time of abstinence from food and worldly pleasure, but also a time to rededicate self to higher virtues of kindness, love and generosity towards others, regardless of faith and ethnicity. The Vice President, who after presiding over the Federal Executive Council meeting, spoke to State House correspondent Jude Onifade, extending greetings to Muslim faithful.
I believe to recommit ourselves to unity, to brotherhood, to peace and reconciliation in various ways, so that our country will achieve all of the objectives that we've set for ourselves. So I wish our Muslim brothers and sisters a very happy period, Ramadan Kareem.
Vice President Yemi Osinbajo there with his Ramadan greetings. Now, prices of food items appear to always rise during Ramadan fast. This is, however, against the religious teachings of piety, fairness, and humane disposition. Asabetanimu Williams takes a look at these prices as they affect the less privileged.
Over the years, the Ramadan period usually witnessed increased purchase of consumables, mostly used during the period, and this development often comes with its negative effects of hike in prices, which Islamic clerics say is not only ungodly, but insensitive.
Quran says, "Wailul lil mutaffifin." That is Quran chapter 83, verses 1 to 3. It says, "Curse of God be upon those who used to reduce what they sell.
They want to get goods from the producer, they get it complete, full, in their full bucket. So when they are to sell it back, they reduce the scale, they rebagrize. It is completely inhuman, un-Islamic.
A visit to some markets in the nation's capital to ascertain the prices of some of this item reveal a slight increase in the price.
Got the bag of flour where you used to buy 11,000, 12,000, now it's almost 15,000 naira a bag.
Electricity tariff has gone up, the foreign exchange rates, the dollar to naira has gone up, and all these parameters affect the price of food. And
the clerics, however, advise both farmers and marketers to fear Allah, to desist from such acts and use the period to be generous, urging them to sell commodities at the affordable rates, avoiding selfish gains, which might deprive them of Allah's blessings. Asabeta Williams, NTA News.
Thank you, Asabe. Now here's a question. Can a fasting person take a jab of COVID-19 vaccine? Well, there seems to be no alternative for fasting Muslim faithful waiting till after the Ramadan fast to receive the jab of the COVID-19 vaccine, as experts say. Fasting in the holy month of Ramadan does not hinder its intake. Abdul Malik Hassan reports.
51-year-old Yusuf is a driver with the NTA and is yet to have a dose of the COVID-19 vaccine. Now Yusuf is fasting and has been wondering if he has to wait until after the Ramadan to have a jab. This is due to the fact that fasting requires abstaining from eating, drinking and any form of sexual relationship from dawn till sunset. But thus receiving the jab of the COVID-19 vaccine breaks one's fast.
In Ramadan, a Muslim is not expected to allow anything into his system as nourishment or in the blood stream or intravenously, as they say. But injection or the taking of the vaccine is not going into the bloodstream, it's going into the muscle of the body. So that is allowed, and that will not prevent a Muslim fasting from accepting the vaccine.
With over 1.2 million Nigerians vaccinated so far, the Primary Healthcare Development Agency says there is no alternative for vaccination after iftar.
Dominant advice that we've gotten from the religious leaders is that the act of vaccination itself does not vitiate, it does not annul your Ramadan fast. Vaccine itself is not nutritive, it's not nutrition, and they've also guided us that actions must be judged according to intentions.
Now the doubt is over. With these, Malam Yusuf and others like him can now take their jab of COVID-19 vaccine despite the ongoing Ramadan fast. In Abuja, Abdul Malik Hassan, NTA News.
The House of Representatives Committee on Judiciary says it is in solidarity with striking judiciary staff, but made clear its opinion that the blanket approach by the Judiciary Staff Union of Nigeria requires a rethink. National Assembly correspondent Lami Ali reports that the committee met Wednesday with the executives of JUSN and urged the union to allow federal courts to function.
The committee at the meeting says striking judiciary staff could use lawful means to achieve demands, but urged that the principle of fair play should be applied. It argued that since the federal government has granted and is implementing financial autonomy, the doors of federal courts should be open.
Money meant for federal judiciary that is under statutory transfer is sent straight to the National Judicial Council for the benefit of courts and other judicial bodies under the federal government. It is not fair for the judiciary at the federal level or the staff of the judiciary at that federal level to embark on on this industrial action.
Representatives of the striking judiciary staff pointed out that while they work in the temple that is the last hope of the common man, refusal of state governors to grant financial autonomy amounts to denial of justice to those that facilitates the process.
The Constitution of the federal government of Nigeria has not been implemented according to the prescription that guarantee financial autonomy. and is that the judgment of court that we have obtained 7 years ago had not been complied with.
The committee promised to reach out to all stakeholders involved towards resolving the impasse. From the National Assembly, Lami Ali, NTA News.
With the ongoing judiciary and parliamentary workers' strike having its negative toll on democratic governance in Nigeria, it has become pertinent for state governors to fast-track the implementation of financial autonomy of states' legislature and judiciary. This is the submission of stakeholders while examining the ripple effects of the ongoing nationwide strike by Judiciary Staff Union of Nigeria and Parliamentary Staff Association of Nigeria. Olubukola Aduwo has the details.
President Muhammadu Buhari signed the Presidential Executive Order No. 10 of 2020, which provides financial independence for the judiciary and legislature of the 36 states of the Federation. Meanwhile, failure to implement the order almost a year after it was signed is the reason for the indefinite strike by the Judiciary Staff of Nigeria and the Parliamentary Staff Association of Nigeria.
The indefinite strike embarked upon by the Judiciary Staff Union of Nigeria has not only crippled court proceedings, but is beginning to affect even the ordinary man on the streets.
Look at me now. I have some cases that need to be attended to. But due to all this strike, it couldn't.
As well, because I wanted to obtain something, and it has taken me some time. You understand? Which I will have to come back again.
Some stakeholders want state governors to allow the rule of law and total separation of powers thrive in their states for the advancement of democracy.
Section 80 to 84 of the Constitution is the issue in contention right now. The provisions, various provisions of that portion of the Constitution is to the effect that the judiciary, the INEC, and the legislatures have the right to draw their funds from the Federation account directly.
I would like to appeal to JUSUM and particularly the federal government to consider the position of the challenges that Nigerians are facing right now. The courts are not open, legal processes cannot continue.
The police in Ondo State, however, say the strike by JUSUM has reduced crime in the state in the last 1 week.
The crime rate is going down because they do understand that if these people go on strike for, let's say, 2 months and they are kept in the police custody, it will not be the same as being in the prison. So they prefer let us soft pedal on what we are doing.
It will be recalled that the federal government on Monday appealed to judicial workers to suspend the nationwide industrial action. In Akure, Olubukola Aduwo, NTA News.
Now, if you are as disturbed as I am about how small arms and light weapons have found their ways into the wrong hands and the ugly attendant effect, then stay with us on the next segment of News Extra, because it is going to be all about security when we come back.
Hey guys, making music for you is so easy for me to do. But you know what else is super easy to do? Linking your NIN to your Glow line by dialing *109*NIN#. Or I can call 109 from my Glow line and follow the instructions. And if I don't want to call, I can text my NIN to 109. I can even visit glowworld.com/NIN. And what if you've forgotten your NIN? All you have to do is dial *346# and Glow will help you remember it. Someone may ask, what if I haven't registered? All you have to do is go into the nearest Glow World and we'll help you register. It's that easy. So don't get disconnected from all of the amazing voice and data offers from Glow. Linking your NIN to your Glow lines is simple, safe, and 100% free with zero hassles.
Distinguished candidate, registration for 2021-2022 UTME/DE into Nigerian tertiary institutions begins April 8th to May 15th, 2021. Candidates are to check their eligibility for chosen programs and institutions on our website, JAMB. jam.gov.ng before commencing the application process. To create your profile, only one mobile phone number can be used by a candidate. To generate profile code, simply send your NIN by SMS text to 55019. A profile code of 10 characters and IBAS alert is received on the candidate's phone number for both pre-registration checking and purchase of UTME/DE e-PIN. Do not give your password to any person. Do not register twice or take UTME or DE forms for the same year. You can upgrade your UTME to DE at no cost. Direct entry registration closes same day with UTME, and there will be no date extension. Pay only approved prices by JAMB. For more details, check jam.gov.ng.
JAMB, enhancing academic excellence.
Talking about your team has never been on top of the law. They have, Joe. And what are you saying? It's a lie. How is it a lie? Highest scoring striker ever. He doesn't have a higher score than
Yes! Kickoff is at 9:45 p.m.
9 p.m.
Settle almost anything football with Google search.
I did look for pension fund administrator. We're soft, make sense, we care for me. Shy. No be the time when story go enter the matter when it's time to deliver. Oh no. The brand is sure them no go stress you. Call them then they accessible. Yes, customer care where they on point. No go regret when you try, of course. Profitable investment. Everything is just a blend. If you don't get it good for you, my guy, make you choose premium pension today. Make that switch to premium pension. Premium pension. Make that switch to premium pension. Premium pension.
Join over 700,000 satisfied members and enjoy the premium experience at our offices across the 36 states in Nigeria, including the FCT. Call 094615-700-704 to make the switch today. Premium pension. Active today, premium tomorrow.
As you adjust to the new realities for operating your business and engaging with your customers, let us help you transform your business into a digital powerhouse capable of adapting and taking advantage of today's opportunities. With our best-in-class array of digital solutions, you can conduct your business, receive payments from your customers, and perform transactions quickly, safely, and conveniently, because we've got you covered with the right people, technology, and service offerings. Contact us today and let us take your business to its zenith. Zenith Bank, in your best interest.
At the first sign of pain, you need a solution that you can trust to provide effective relief and is gentle on the stomach. Try Panadol Caplets for relief from headaches, body aches, and fever. With Panadol's Optizorb formula, the tablet gently breaks down in the stomach, quickly absorbs, and starts providing pain relief in 15 minutes. For fast and effective pain relief that you can trust, try Panadol Caplets. This has been Medifact for Panadol.
If life were a game where every choice brought you closer to your dream, would you stay where you're unappreciated? Or would you somehow take that first step to changing things for yourself? At ARM Pensions, it's not about who you are, it's about who you play with. Join the team that appreciates you. Switch to ARM Pensions today.
Happy 70th birthday celebration to an icon. A goldfish has no hiding place, and so the management and shop owners of EMAP Plaza will say to Abuja, heartily felicitate and rejoice with Chief Sir Emmanuel C. Umohia, OON, Knight of St. Christopher, Ide Okpara Amici, Chairman and CEO, EMAP Ume and Sons Nigeria Limited, our landlord, on his 70th birthday celebration. Agu EMAP, we are very proud of you. You are indeed a gift to our generation and an inspiration to coming generations. You have, through your uncommon business acumen and landmark achievements, spread very large umbrellas, offering shelter for many. On this occasion of your 70th birthday celebration, it is our prayers that God Almighty continues to shower you with all you need as you age gracefully. Once again, we congratulate you, sir. Announcer, EMAP Plaza Tenants, Abuja.
You're welcome back. Government at all levels and concerned individuals have been admonished to do everything within their capacity to ensure the quick and safe release of the remaining Chibok schoolgirls who are still in captivity of Boko Haram insurgents and other persons currently held hostage. This came to light during an event commemorating the abduction of Chibok schoolgirls, in addition to condemning continuous kidnappings as well as sexual violence against women and girls. Abubakar Mohammed Musa reports.
The abduction of 276 schoolgirls in Chibok local government area of Borno State on 14th April 2014 is no doubt a tragedy that will always be remembered. This is the main reason why these women have converged on Women Development Center Maiduguri to remind government at all levels and every Nigerian on the need to ensure quick and safe return of the remaining girls in captivity and to condemn continuous abduction of innocent citizens as well as violence against women and girls in northern Nigeria.
We have to keep this on to remind the government and all stakeholders. We are calling on the federal government now to intensify.
The event was an avenue for some survivors of Boko Haram crisis, including some of the Chibok girls released or escaped from the hands of the insurgents, to recall their traumatic experiences, where they all called on the relevant authorities to support them with means of livelihood to enable them pick up the pieces of their lives.
I passed through hell. Thank God I am back. But many are still in captivities. I am appealing to the government please to come for their rescue.
Parents whose children are still in captivity said life has never been the same following the abduction and called for mercy. Special prayers were offered for divine intervention with a call for genuine repentance by all towards averting all forms of calamities. In Maiduguri, Abubakar Mohammed Musa, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the presidency is reassuring parents and all concerned citizens that the missing Chibok girls will remain constantly in the minds of the government, as they always are in the minds of their parents. The presidency gives assurances that the release of the remaining girls is still work in progress. Efforts to secure their release through various channels and activities of the security and intelligence agencies remain on course. It says the recent decisive push by the military against the terrorists gives hope that a breakthrough is possible and could happen anytime soon. The presidency asks for support, understanding and prayers for the military as they discharge their historic mandate to quickly finish off the insurgency war and free all citizens held hostage. In the meantime, as the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development marks the 7th anniversary of the abduction of the Chibok girls, Minister Sadia Umar Farouk expresses grief over the incident that has kept some of the girls in captivity. In a statement, the minister says, though most of the Chibok girls have been recovered and reunited with their families and have resumed their education, a significant work remains for all levels of government until all the girls abducted are rescued. She assures parents of the Chibok girls, Leah Sharibu and other abducted persons that the government has not forgotten them as every effort is being made to rescue them. The statement also pointed to the improved security in schools by government at all levels and the federal government's commitment towards the education of the Nigerian child. Now, imagine 15 million children without parental care, or rather engaged in forced labor. This is no doubt free admission to the crime world, but this is the reality in Nigeria as 15 million underage children are into forced labor. This statistics is from the International Labour Organization. Ngozi Silva Technico, however, reports that there is a ray of hope for the children.
These images paint a sorry sight. Pain, hopelessness, and agony are their neighbors. But this inhumane treatment might just have a date of expiration. Thanks to a 5-year national action plan on the elimination of child and forced labor in Nigeria, which is undergoing a validation process.
The program for today is we actually hope to finalize the draft national policy and national action plan, and then validated by stakeholders. And once it's validated, it is set for implementation.
International Labour Organization draws its strength to stem the plight of the disadvantaged Nigerian child from number 8 of the Sustainable Development Goal, which encapsulates the Child Rights Act 2021 to 2025.
I want to charge you to ensure that the plan of action, which we are validating today, should contain not only time-bound activities that have direct bearing on child labor, but also should include monitoring and evaluation mechanisms.
Sexual exploitation of underage children, carrying of arms during conflict, involvement in terrorism, adoption and child trafficking are other areas of focus. But those waging the war have set 2030 to end the battle in the child's favor. Ngozi Silva, Technical, NTA News.
And the number of small arms and light weapons in circulation in Nigeria, particularly in the hands of non-state actors, is giving people a lot of concern. This is even more worrisome when there are conventions and restrictions by international and national governments on the control of firearms. Austin Ayebe in this report takes a look at the trend.
These are ambience that everyone dreads, and it's mostly held during wars. That also explains why firearms are meant to be used by the military. Hence, procurement, custody, and usage are also in the hands of state actors. However, in many African states, including Nigeria, there is high rate of proliferation of firearms.
Virtually everything that you see in this country that has to do with security challenges has their root from the fact that we are armed. And the man that is armed is the majority.
The arms find their way in very easily, first due to corrupt practices, two due to the fact that we do not have the structural measures to effectively monitor our large, vast, porous borders.
Armed conflicts are said to cost Africa $18 billion each year on importation of firearms, aside locally manufactured ones. In Nigeria, about 6 million small arms are said to be in the hands of non-state actors, a situation that has given rise to the increasing cases of violence, kidnapping, banditry, and militancy. Preliminary findings from the National Small Arms and Light Weapons Survey show that locally manufactured arms contribute a large percentage. The Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, has adopted moratorium on the importation, exportation and manufacturing of small arms and light weapons in West Africa in 1998.
We recently apprehended some people and we were able to recover arms illegally in their possession. And we have been doing that from time to time. The committee is not relenting.
Government had approved the establishment of National Center for the Control of Small Arms and Light Weapons to work in compliance with already laid down international standards and ECOWAS moratorium on the control of small arms and light weapons.
A lot more still needs to be done. We aren't doing enough. And unfortunately, whereas the United Nations and other agencies at that level, may have made such pronouncements, one wonders whether they have also, supported such pronouncements with the resources required, to execute, such pronouncement.
There should be legislation that is very robust enough, that is implementable, that is result-oriented, that will capture and mete out punishment that will stand the test of time.
Experts of the view that more needs to be done to check the situation, which has continued to pose serious threats to lives and property of the people. In Abuja, Austin Ayebe, NTA News.
Still talking security, the incessant attacks on security infrastructure and personnel during civil unrest in Lagos State have been identified as inimical to national development. To stem the trend, security experts and public affairs analysts are calling for a proactive intelligence gathering mechanism to arrest insecurity in the state. Kehinde Adebisi completes the report.
Insecurity in Nigeria is a cankerworm that has eaten deep into the fabric of the nation, and Lagos has had its fair share. As Nigeria's commercial nerve center, Lagos contributes approximately 30% of Nigeria's gross domestic product (GDP) and hosts the country's over 50% of non-oil industrial capacity. The state therefore becomes an attraction to people from other states and within the sub-region. The siege on the city by unemployed youth is illustrated by violent tendencies that occurs daily. Lagos residents have been victims of robberies which sometimes happen in broad daylight. Organized criminal gangs of attacks on security personnel and infrastructure in some parts of the country, stakeholders are of the view that application of strategies and use in some advanced societies and synergy between the public and security operatives are key in taming the danger such a challenge poses. Abubakar Usman Akwanga reports that the renewed search for a lasting solution resonated during NTA's Tuesday Live program.
To some states in the southeastern part of the country, last few weeks came with spring of threat and even attacks on security personnel and infrastructure, causing monumental damage and even deaths of military and paramilitary agents. In the wake of the lingering disaster, criminals serving various jail terms were freed by miscreants in Owerri Correctional Service Facility and allowed to reintegrate into the society they once terrorized.
Somalia is about the only country that has one language, one tribe, one majority are Muslim, 99.5% Muslims before the breakup. Where is Somalia today? An ungoverned space. So every country that are developed based on diversity of the people there, diversity of ideas and whatever, and that is a major plus for Nigeria.
These thrilling factors, stakeholders say, requires multi-dimensional approach by all and sundry to ensure lives of security agents and their working equipment are secured for greater security of the Nigerian states.
When people come together to attack these men and women in uniform, attack and diminish their infrastructure and facilities, oftentimes the policemen, the soldiers, the correction officers are not just the end. They are a means to an end.
Trying to create independent security architecture different from the police. By the time you now disregard the hegemony of the police institution over and above any other security arrangement, you are dampening the morale and the zeal of the police personnel for them to give you the maximum productivity value.
In Abuja, Abubakar Usman Akwanga, NTA News.
Let's take you to Owerri now. The recent kidnap of Eze Charles Iroegbu of Nguru Autonomous Community in Imo State went viral on social media as the incident occurred a day after the jailbreak in Owerri. His release therefore brought joy to the community, but not without a twist. Let's now join Marian Vincent Oko, who visited the palace of the Eze to share his experience.
This
is the seat of Eze Charles Ndubisi Irebu, Ezi 1 of Umwezi in Guru Autonomous Community in Abombise local government area of Imo State. Now, on the 6th of April, precisely on Tuesday, a day after Easter Monday celebration, he was kidnapped on his way from a traditional marriage in Ehimembano local government area. The kidnap, which came to members of the community as a surprise, also involved 6 other members of the Igwe's council who attended a traditional marriage with him. His release after 4 days in captivity attracted jubilation from members of the community who described it as divine, as other traditional rulers kidnapped in the past never lived to tell the story. The Eze, who shared his experience with NTA News, says it is one encounter that will live with him for a lifetime.
I don't know where they took me and my cabinet to. Up till now, I can't say this is the place or that. If for the people who are doing all these things are our children, we should come out and tell our children not to do these things.
When I heard the news, I don't even believe my ears.
We are so grateful and happy to see him survive.
All the Ezes in Mbise, we felt for him, but we are happy that he's alive.
All of us, we are happy.
While social media reports of the incident revealed that the kidnap was not reported to the police, NTA News sought confirmation from the police public relations officer, Imo State Command, Orlando Ikoku, who informed the reporter off camera that the command was yet to be properly briefed by officers within the jurisdiction of the incident. But the Eze offered explanations.
To my people here, they made a move, to report to police because I was not here. So the actions they took, so I know they went to police, but not there because the police station there was burnt.
As at the time of this visit, other cabinet members affected were still receiving treatment and could not be reached. But the lessons learned from this incident no doubt revolves around the need for an all-inclusive effort in the fight against terrorism in the country. In Owerri, Marian Vincent Oko, NTA News.
Well, we're happy they're back safe. Well, I miss my oranges now more than ever. Have you noticed how scarce some fruits have become while others are simply not within the means of many? Don't worry, as correspondent on the move takes us on a trip to a destination that might just do you some good. Plus, some good reasons why it pays to subscribe with NTA Star TV. That will be after we return from this next break that beckons. Stay with us.
There's enough to go around.
With Mr. Chef seasoning cubes and powders, every meal is something to look forward to.
Me first.
Mr. Chef, creating delightful memories.
Ooh la la. Sweet nutrition. This looks different.
It is 8K video, beyond cinema quality.
So
you can pull portrait quality photos straight from video.
But will it last the whole trip?
Battery for the whole trip and the way back.
This is different.
Told you.
Kids, we need you. Get going.
For the energy you need to get up and go every day, enjoy Cowbell Choco.
The new Lifebuoy hand sanitizers with 70% alcohol will kill 99.9% of germs. Now available in convenient packs. Let us all take responsibility to fight this pandemic together.
Ramadan is sharing.
Ramadan is all about spirituality.
A rewarding moment with friends and families.
To connect with exceptional women.
Rethink iftar.
Remix the recipes.
Refresh your favorite Ramadan TV show.
Mikey Diary Season 4. It's fresh, it's exciting, it's delicious. Get ready to experience a twist in your taste buds. Ramadan curry!
ITF, developing the nation's human resource.
He's falling sick so frequently, either fever or stomachache. I keep him away from junk food.
He also feeds me apples. She says an apple a day keeps...
If you want to keep germs away, then also wash your hands regularly with Dettol soap.
Meaning?
If it's a soap, why not Dettol soap? Germs and disease spread through the hand also. For this, use Dettol soap. Dettol protects from up to 100 illness-causing germs. Dettol soap is endorsed by the Nigerian Medical Association. Be Dettol sure.
Thanks so much for staying. Nigerian Stock Exchange All-Share Index gained to end Wednesday trading session on a positive note as OPEC Plus compliance with oil cuts in March, largely due to Saudi Arabia. Let's join Musa Abakar with details on business news.
Thank you, Fatima.
It's over to you.
Welcome to our business news segment. The alliance of the OPEC Plus oil producers was able to achieve the 113% oil cuts agreement reached last month, largely due to Saudi Arabia's voluntary additional cut of 1 million barrels a day, a report said. The International Energy Agency, which disclosed this in its monthly oil market report on Wednesday, said Saudi Arabia maintained its extra reduction in supply for a second month in a row. That kept overall OPEC Plus compliance with supply cuts at a robust 113% during March. Russia ramped up while Iran and Libya, both exempt from the deal, posted notable increases, pushing output from the 24-member producer group to 39.8 million barrels per day. The agency said in the report the IEA estimates Saudi Arabia's compliance last month at 153%, while Russia's at 95% and Nigeria's at 127%, according to the report. Now let's turn our attention to capital market. Equities market has closed Wednesday trading on a bullish note. The all-share index climbed 0.09% to close 38,636.15 points, a market capitalization at 20.2 trillion naira. 278 million shares worth 2.2 billion naira were traded in 3,989 deals. Japan Gold, UACN, and Fidelity Bank were the most active shares at the end of the day's transaction. Well, that's business news. It's over to you.
Thank you so much, Musa, for the business package. Now, you know the cliche, life goes on. Well, that's what dealers at the popular auto spare parts market in Ibadan are doing. Their concern now is more on how to rebuild their businesses and salvage what they could of their wares after the fire incident that burnt down over 1,000 shops in the market. Correspondent Larry Belly went to the market to ask them, what next?
One of the busiest auto spare parts markets in southwestern part of the country is now a shadow of itself, with shop owners sitting at their burnt shops contemplating the cost implications this incident has cost them.
Spare parts market, we need help from people from outside, from government, from individual, because it has affected us.
In many ways, in family. When some families now, many families now, their wife is feeding them. There's nothing to sell.
Although there have been pockets of fire incidents over the last years, the last time it was this devastating was in 1982. This fire that just happened affected about 2,000 shops and about 5,000 families. It might take a while for some of the affected traders in the auto spare parts market whose life have been altered by the fire incident to be able to rejig the sale of their business.
Look at that HA now. I bought it 250,000. I sold it as scrap now. I sold it 25,000 naira. Look at the amount I've lost.
The effect of the incident is now being felt as auto spare parts prices soar right from the market.
Look at this carburetor. Before the fire incident, it is being sold for 10,000 naira. Now the price has jumped to 20,000 naira. And that is if you are lucky to get one.
We like every one of us here to go and insure all their markets. So in case of anything can happen tomorrow.
Promises have been made by the Oyo State government, individual, including politicians.
Over the next 1 or 2 weeks, we'll take a decision. The government will come to your aid.
The traders hope these promises will be fulfilled on time to get their business back on track. From Araromi Auto Spare Part Market, Larry Wileyi, NTA News.
Now, this is a pick up from Travel Diary, which tells the story of the popular fruit market community on the gateway of northern and eastern parts of Nigeria, promoting local economic activities and national integration among the people. Hamza Musa Makarfi reports.
As you travel across Nigeria, are voices of diversity with unity as the common goal to forge ahead as a nation. Traveling is an essential part of education. Obolafo, for travelers going to or coming from the northern part, is popular stopover community. The town shares boundary with communities of Benue and Kogi states. The main attraction, freshly harvested or processed agricultural commodities. Competition to woo customers is understandable. Okay. Where else can you get the price offered by this seller? As you continue chatting, you have to admire the sense of humor and happiness. I have noted in my diary, interaction can be in the buyer's language. It stimulates national integration.
See me, I don't buy banana.
After spending some time, travelers must go forward to reach their destinations and perhaps explore more of Nigeria.
Thank you so much.
And it is with this satisfaction, a reflection on blessings to this community, our concerns by stakeholders for preservation infrastructure to reduce wastages of agricultural products in the area. Hamza Musa Makarfi, NTA News.
Well, when I see things like this and people smiling and all of that, I just, get so happy and just thank God that I'm a Nigerian. Now, the Joint Admission and Matriculation Board says it has taken a holistic look at its processes and put in place measures to curb anomalies arising from unwholesome exploitation of hapless candidates by some cyber cafe operators. Registrar of JAMB, Professor Ishaq Oluyode, stated this after the board apprehended 10 out of 40 alleged fraudsters who defrauded JAMB of more than 10 million naira in the name of being ad hoc staff who supervise external examination. Online Kaujo reports.
One of the major challenges faced by JAMB is that of fraudulent activities by owners of computer-based test centers and cyber cafe operators, leading to wanton exploitation of candidates by unscrupulous cyber cafe operators via candidates' emails. This is becoming a recurring decimal, with the latest perpetrated by this cyber cafe operator by name Moses Peter, who manipulated and distorted the details of these 400-level students of economics at the University of Abuja.
The person that was alleged, the suspect, happened to be someone that is working with us there, used to call customer. So at the point when she came to make the complaint, so it was someone that I knew. So that was how I got into the case.
You asked me for 1,000 naira. I not said okay, I'll get back to you. I called one of my customers that has cafe. That this mobilization, this checking of our new one is are we supposed to pay for it? The guy was like, no.
The board says it has adjusted its registration policies commencing from Thursday, 15th April 2021.
We will no longer ask candidates for email addresses for the purpose of registration. It is by going to this cyber cafe that they open themselves to this abuse of stealing their data.
Now, it is a matter of named and shamed.
How did you come that you changed the name of Ayinde Olayinka Abdulhakeem to your own name, and you collected 254,640, and you also collect 349,000.
These alleged fraudsters are full of regrets after defrauding JAMB of more than 10 million naira.
I'm standing here not to defend myself, and I'm here for apology. And what I did is it is something bad.
And seeking forgiveness may be too late. The alleged fraudsters have been handed over to law enforcement agents for further actions. Olayinka Ojo, NTA News.
There is joy in knowing that one is valued by one's service provider. This encapsulates the reactions of some NTA StarTimes subscribers when they were rewarded for their loyalty. Adebola Brookslyn Sunday reports.
StarTimes reward for loyalty, tagged Easter promo, began from March 1st, 2021. The whole idea behind the promo is to appreciate subscribers who are consistent in recharging their decoders. From the city center, Lambata in Kwali Area Council became the first port of call, and Mrs. Maureen Kamo was the beneficiary.
He called back the following day.
She said, like the doubting Thomas, she only believed when she was contacted twice.
I wasn't expecting it. I'm very, very grateful, at least for the recognition. I now know that they keep tag of their customers. Don't miss my ST Novella 1 and 2.
Another beneficiary was Olakweju Agbola, who said the quality of NTA Star TV is second to none.
My favorite channel is Novella E+. Novella E+. I like that channel very well. The quality is okay. We are using we are not using dish. We are using antenna, and it's okay.
We want to make sure that every African home can afford digital life. This
promo also covers an opportunity or a price slash for our new subscribers. Now, new subscribers can actually get a decoder price slash, be it a decoder that uses the antenna or the satellite dish.
The Easter upgrade promo is scheduled to end on the 30th of April 2021. Adebola, Brooksland Sunday, NTA News.
We all know what to do before the promo ends. Well, so far so good. The media as a formidable partner in the effort to stem the tide of pregnancy-related deaths in the country. Details when News Extra returns.
My name is Osage Ehanere. I am Minister of Health. We have just taken the vaccine. It is the AstraZeneca vaccine. This vaccine is safe, properly researched. It is in use in many countries. We urge all Nigerians to submit themselves to taking this vaccine, persons who are 18 years old above. Otherwise, it is safe. You take your second dose after a period of about 10 to 12 weeks, and then you have immunity. Nigeria is aiming to vaccinate 70% of our population, and therefore be one of that 70% to give us herd immunity. Herd immunity means that Nigerians will not easily become infected even if they get in contact with the coronavirus.
Nigerian youths are about the greatest assets the country has at the moment. It is therefore not surprising that the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari is strategically responding to the yearnings of the youth through multiple projects and programs. Youth entrepreneurship support, yes, by Bank of Industry, the Youth Investment Fund by the CBN, and several other conditional cash transfer programs. Recruitment of 774,000 social workers, majority of whom are youths, and so many other projects that are beneficial to youths directly or indirectly. If the administration can do all this, definitely with a degree of patience and time, it can achieve more. Nigerian youths must come together to say no to terrorism, no to vandalism, and no to all disruptive tendencies. Hashtag Youth for Greater Nigeria. Pacifying the youths, unifying the nation.
Although social media as a channel of communication is inherently harmless, it becomes harmful and damaging when used without discretion and thoughtfulness. Bad social media users spread rumors and fake news without verification. But good social media users stop, reflect, and verify information before sharing it. Be a good social media user. Stop the spread of fake news. Verify the authenticity of your source and use social media responsibly for a better Nigeria. This message is brought to you by the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, in collaboration with the National Orientation Agency.
Well, this is News Extra. You're welcome. It is said to give honor to whom honor is due. This is the case for Malam Bashir Abubakar, retired Assistant Controller General of Customs, who was stabbed as the Bardem Kudung Zazzau by the Emir of Zazzau, Ambassador Ahmed Nuhu Bamali. This is in recognition of his contributions to the development of the emirate. Tina Toro has the details.
New Bardem Kudun Zazzau, Malam Bashir Abubakar, Assistant Controller General of Customs, retired, was honored for his selfless service to humanity, as attested to by the Emir, Ambassador Ahmed Nuhu Bamali, who also used the opportunity to elevate some traditional title holders and appoint new ones. After the turbaning ceremony, the Bardankudin Zazzau Malam Bashir Abubakar rode to his family home on horseback amidst cheers. He is overwhelmed by the honor bestowed on him and promises to do his best for the overall well-being of the people and the emirate.
We are talking about issue of unity. So we must be part of the catalyst move or catalytic move to unify our people.
Friends, acquaintances, and well-wishers are optimistic that the Bardankudin Zazzau will carry out his role effectively.
And the only thing I could ask God is for God to give him the wisdom, more wisdom, the energy to continue to bear what he's doing to humanity.
This new title that has been bestowed on him will give him more courage and confidence, actually, and energy to continue to do what he has been doing for the emirate and for humanity.
He himself not a Christian, but he has contributed in building of some of the infrastructures in St. Luke's Anglican Hospital.
His family describe it as an honor well deserved. Bardankudin Zazzau Malam Bashir Abubakar, Assistant Controller General of Customs retired, returned to the palace to express his appreciation to the Emir for the honor. In Zaria, Tina Turu, NTA News.
Congratulations to him. Information disorder, otherwise known as fake news, is a global phenomenon, and the Nigerian government is worried over the consequences on its policies and programs. To further contain the trend, the National Orientation Agency and partners are building the capacity of staff at 36 national and grassroots levels. Kenneth Nanim has that.
The emergence of social media platforms no doubt escalated easy accessibility of information, thereby giving unscrupulous persons opportunity to disseminate misleading and unverifiable information. These fake news, as it were, conflict with genuine and credible information on government policies and programs, such as various conspiracy theories surrounding the COVID-19 vaccines, which governments at all levels are still grappling with. To contain the trend, government had come up with corresponding messages for reorientation of the public against fake news. Hence, this training.
This will enable them to independently confirm information in their possession before sharing them or otherwise debunk them, disbelieve, disregard, and discard them.
It's important that we do it correctly. To understand those terms correctly is because we need solutions. When it is not right, or half-truth, not completely true, or does not even exist, then it is fake news.
Emphasis was also on the need for social media users to visit globally accredited information verification sites to verify every information at their disposal before sharing.
It is expected at the end of this two-day workshop, participants have been trained with the skills and knowledge of how best to identify fake news and deal with it appropriately to ensure that only verifiable and credible information is disseminated to the general public. Kenneth Nanim, NTA News.
Thank you, Kenneth. Now, eliminating delays in accessing healthcare and obtaining vital information from the media are crucial steps towards reducing high mortality rate in Nigeria. This is the position of health experts as the Federal Ministry of Health launches an operational plan to improve access to healthcare. Olushe Adiagbo reports.
Nigeria Demographic and Health Survey 2018 shows maternal mortality rate is 512 per 100,000 live births. Meanwhile, neonatal mortality rate is 39 per 1,000 live births, just as under 5 mortality rate is 132 per 1,000 live births, which translates to 1 in every 8 children dying under the age 5. Although the Nigeria 2019 Verbal and Social Autopsy Study indicates relative decline in the statistics in recent times, key players in the healthcare sector still frown at the mortality rate.
Indices are still not falling. A lot of resources go into it.
And therefore, the need for partnership, optimizing resources is very, very critical.
The Federal Ministry of Health is committed to further reducing the statistics, hence this launch of the Nigerian Reproductive, Maternal, Newborn, Child, Adolescent and Elderly Health Plus Nutrition Multi-Stakeholder Partnership Coordination Platform, Operational Plan 2021.
They slow down recovery from illness. They contribute to preventable morbidity and mortality, especially among women again, and children and the elderly.
We have rallied around you today. We are here. Let us continue to dialogue.
Olusheye Adiagbo, NTA News.
Water everywhere, but none to drink. That is what comes to mind when residents of Makurdi, the Benue State capital, with a river flowing right in the middle of the city, begin to appeal to the state government to look into the incessant water scarcity that has continued to hit them. Irene Solomon reports that the appeal is as a result of the change in weather, which has made water even more essential in every household.
Year out, especially at this period when the wells are dried, water becomes a scarce commodity in many households, especially those who cannot afford to dig boreholes, thus subjecting the people to hardship as they have to trek or drive distance to fetch water. Sometimes they are forced to buy from the water vendors, who sell at exorbitant rates, as much as 250 naira to 400 naira per truck of 10 jerrycans, depending the area they buy from. Some residents share their experience.
Something as basic as water, these people in position of leadership cannot provide for us.
Almost every day I do come here to get water because there is no water around my area.
And for the past 3 days I've been coming here. I'll come in the morning, I'll leave by 4 or 5. I can't find water. The tankers are busy. No time for them to give me water.
General Manager, Benue State Water Board, says a new transformer has been purchased to enable them pump more water to areas that lack water, and also working on opening new water pipelines in areas that are yet to have the channels.
You cannot pump for 12 or 24 hours using generator. Generator is capital intensive. So by now that we have 2 sources of power, I think the problem is almost solved. Then the issue of those that are not connected, and this will be making efforts.
Despite we have River Benue in the state, residents of Makurdi, the Benue State capital, still thirst for water. They, however, wonder how long this water scarcity will last. In Makurdi, Irene Solomon, NTA News.
The ecological intervention of the federal government in Bariga Local Council Development Area of Lagos is nearing completion, and the wind breezing around the community is that of assurance that regardless of the intensity of the rains, their property and lives are secured. Michael Olale reports.
The rains have started to gather momentum, and this is the time of the year in which the atmosphere in Bariga is usually tensed. Fear and apprehension about the possibility of flooding most times overshadow the beauty of this community by the lagoon. With the 4 kilometers ecological intervention project of the federal government still underway, I decided to check for an update. To my surprise, the once contaminated sewage and gully roads have disappeared, and in their place are well-laid drainage and road awaiting asphalt laying.
About 10 weeks ago, the contractor handling the project was battling hard to control flood and create space for the construction of drainage. But today, that has become history, as attention has now shifted to road construction.
Areas that have been neglected over the years are now being taken care of. If you go to all the areas of Bariga, you will be surprised.
There have not been heavy rain, and which we know that if there's a heavy rain, there will be a list of what we have been expressing the past years.
The project, which is about 95% completed, will be delivered by the end of April. But the contractor handling the project wants residents in extremely low land areas to raise the base of their structures to be at par with the drainage.
We are trying to discharge water into the lagoon. The
our collections must be higher than the lagoon. Between the buildings, the foundations to the drainage structures, they need to do a little filling so that when they collected the runoff from the houses, it can safely discharge into the park.
Williams, a trader, is already visualizing the gains the project will bring to the community when completed. But his greatest worry is the attendant effect on standard of living.
The landlords and the landladies around here will virtually use the advantage of the road to kill us with the house rents.
With the milestone achieved in the space of 10 weeks, there is high optimism within the 7 communities in Bariga that the project will be delivered as specified. In Lagos, Michael Alale, NTA News.
And for Nigeria to meet up with international human rights standards, much is expected from the presidential nominees of the National Human Rights Commission. This was the position of the Senate Committee on Judiciary, Human Rights and Legal Matters while screening the nominees. And Mobolaji Moribiring has the report.
Before the committee is the presidential nominee, chairman and members of the governing council of the National Human Rights Commission. The lawmakers are pointing out critical areas and other lapses in the judicial sector and how the nominees can address them if confirmed.
A very critical issue, the issue of the need to better fund the National Human Rights Commission.
With vast experience of the nominees, especially on human rights related matters, the nominees say they are set to carry out advocacy programs in achieving the mandate of the commission.
I want to work with my team, if we are privileged to be confirmed, to be able to attract very good human capital for the National Human Rights Commission.
I will do my best to see how we can step up enlightenment in terms of the rights of Nigeria, but injecting into it the responsibilities too.
The presidential nominee have been screened. Reports by the committee would be submitted to the Senate at plenary for further legislative action. From the National Assembly, Mobolaji Moribiri, NTA News.
An avenue that many assume could be a super spreader of the deadly coronavirus that turned out otherwise. This and other news are from the world of sports when we return from our final break. See you shortly.
With gratitude to Almighty God for a life well spent, we announce the glorious exit of a true icon, our beloved husband, father, grandfather, brother, and uncle, Senator Joseph Funsho Obasaju of Ayeteju Quarters in Kaba, Bunu, local government of Kogi State at the age of 75. Funeral arrangements for the late Second Republic Senator are as follows. Tuesday, 13th April 2021, service of songs at Rema Chapel International Churches, Tanke, Ilorin at 5 p.m. Thursday, 15th April, Christian wake at his residence in Kaba, Kogi State at 4 p.m. Friday, 16th April, funeral service at Sacred Heart Catholic Church, Kaba, Kogi State at 10 a.m. But by way of Bunu land, continue to rest in the bosom of our Lord until we meet to part no more. Announcer, Kaba Development Union.
And I can't feel at home in this world anymore.
President Muhammadu Buhari extends heartfelt condolences to the family of Colonel Ahmed Usman, former military administrator of Ondo and Oyo states. President Buhari says that he is a military officer. The late Colonel Usman served the nation with courage and dedication, adding that his contributions to peace and unity as well as his quest for public good continued even in retirement. As the president prays that Almighty Allah will repose the soul of the departed, his thoughts are with the government and people of Kogi State, where Usman hailed from, and with friends and family and colleagues as well as they mourn also. And the next is a weather prospect for Thursday.
There. While the southern half of the country are beginning to see consistent rainfall activities, some parts of the north central are still experiencing increased buildup of clouds. Now let's see how this will play out for Thursday. Most cities in the coast and the inland areas of the south are expected to be mostly cloudy, with a few thunderstorms over Bayelsa, Rivers, and Cross River states in the morning. The central cities will be in partly cloudy to cloudy conditions, while the extreme northern half of the country would be pretty sunny all through Thursday. We expect to see some increased cloudiness as the day progresses over the central cities, places like the FCT, Nasarawa, and Benue. More of these thunderstorms activities are expected over the southern cities to affect places like Imo, Ondo, Benin, Oyo, Lagos, Port Harcourt, Calabar, and Warri in the late afternoon into evening period. And that's our bit from here. Join us again.
And with that, we end News Extra for tonight. Thank you so much for being a part of it. I am Fatima Marbuba. But just before we go, here's a reminder. Be a star. Connect with the NTA and stand against rape and rapists. Please stay safe.
Did you get to see the way Daily Mabadu pulls this? Don't forget to send in your messages.
There's a difference between picking, child, and issue. That is can do more with less people.
If we have a better way of addressing these issues, taking care of...
Congratulations, you were able to sign Timo Werner from RB Leipzig.
So you take water before your workout.
People have used their phone, using TikTok to do that.
Should I go for test?
A lot of people don't even have resources.
I'm Cecil, and this is the Medley Show on NTA.
I never get this kind of thing, or I hear it.
This year has been quite awful, but due to the pandemic, which we all know about.
During the pandemic, from the month of March down to October, we weren't paying a dime in the school.
I got to know about Survivor Fund on social media When I got to know about it, I related it with our director, which he affirmed that we should apply.
I didn't take interest in it at first. I thought government, all these forms that they are filling, no one is actually paying.
But once the money came in, I was so happy.
It was 30,000 for each teacher, and it went a long way for the teachers.
I want to thank the federal government for having us in mind concerning this survival fund initiative.
Lives are in your hands while you drive. Protect yourself and others on the road. Road Matters, shown on the network service of the NTA. Join us.
Although social media as a channel of communication is inherently harmless, it becomes harmful and damaging when used without discretion and thoughtfulness. Bad social media users spread rumors and fake news without verification. But good social media users stop, reflect, and verify information before sharing it. Be a good social media user. Stop the spread of fake news. Verify the authenticity of your source and use social media responsibly for a better Nigeria. This message is brought to you by the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, in collaboration with the National Orientation Agency.
Transportation is an integral part of our daily lives. Humans, as well as goods, services, and essential commodities, must move from one place to another for life to be livable on a daily basis. This movement, to a large extent, is achieved through vehicular means. Safe delivery of goods is the prayer of every producer. Likewise, safe arrival is the prayer of every passenger. Where visibility is hampered, then safe arrival can no longer be guaranteed, which explains the need for cars to have functional wipers, especially during the rainy season. Wipers wipe out moist and stains from the windscreen of all vehicles in order to give the driver sufficient visibility in the event of rainfall while on the road and to prevent veering off or colliding with other cars. It is important to not only have functional wipers, but also ensure that our wipers are effective. Check your wiper blades today. Wipers constitute the basic minimum safety on the road.
In the midst of the coronavirus pandemic, information management is key.
I'm Cyril Stober.
Fatima Umar Buba.
Joseph Johnson.
Ian Ray John.
Muhammad Kudu Abubakar.
Jumba Yusuf.
My name is Kirian Umaya.
Here in NTA, we're working very hard to make sure that everything we broadcast is accurate and up to date. Misinformation spreads very fast.
The social media has been a huge conveyor of misleading information from one individual to another, then to another set of groups. In a short while, it goes viral, and before you know it, it is all over the world.
There have been several misleading information on coronavirus, COVID-19. Recently, the misconception of 5G as a cause of coronavirus.
Theories about the efficacies of these concoctions. We should stay safe and denounce all manner of fake news and misleading information on COVID-19.
For medical advice, go on the WHO website, Nigeria Center for Disease Control NCDC website or stick with the advisories from the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19 or other authentic official sources. NTA is one of them.